Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Cronus. Now, the blueprint for the Cronus is actually a boss drop. You get it by defeating Captain Vor in the mission Tolstoy on Mercury. Now, it only has about a 5% chance to drop, but you are guaranteed to get it the first time you finish the mission. The Cronus is a one-handed sword that doesn't actually have a mastery rank requirement, and it does primarily slash damage, which is then followed by impact and finally puncture. The crit chance on it is honestly a bit horrid with only 6% and a below average crit multiplier as well, though it does have a decent amount of status. This weapon is actually pretty cool because not only is it a vanilla weapon, so it's one of the first melee weapons that were in the game, it's also used by Captain Vor, which is why he drops it, but it was originally used by the Stalker as well. Now, since you can get the weapon very early on, let's first cover a very basic build, and for this one I would highly recommend you go with the reach because while numerically the range is pretty good, it doesn't feel great if you don't have any source of extra range. And then I would go with triple armor stripping, so you would have corrosive and heat from 90% elementals, and you would bump up the status chance with melee prowess and shattering impact for base armor stripping as well. These mods are all relatively easy to get, and the setup is actually very solid. It will happily carry you through the entire star chart and do most nightmare and fissure missions, and it will squeeze you through some sorties as well, believe it or not. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not gonna be great, but it will get you through it. But if for whatever reason you want to go for something more advanced, this is the kind of build I would recommend, which still actually fits into a zero forma setup, which is pretty cool. And it's basically just an endgame melee build. We go for Vyro and Slash, we get Berserker Fury for more attack speed, Drifting Contact for some combo duration, Weeping Wounds for a ludicrous amount of status, and I would still recommend some form of range, in this case Primed Reach. Now, this setup has a little bit more punch to it, quite a bit more punch actually. I was a bit surprised at how well this actually performed. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not amazing, this is not a good melee weapon, but for something you get essentially for free by slapping Vor around, it's actually not bad. Like, it's basically a free weapon that doesn't require any forma whatsoever to run a full build, and I wouldn't feel too bad taking it into a sortie. Plus, it has one upside that most weapons don't have, and that's that it will pretty much never not have full Riven disposition. So if you get a Riven for it, it's gonna be really juicy since almost no one is using it. And that might be more important than you think, because high Riven disposition is one of the key things for a good stat stick weapon. So I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the Cronus is actually worth having. It is a decent melee weapon for a new player that's just making their way through the star chart, and at the same time it's also valuable to an endgame player because it is, and has been for quite a while, a really good and reliable stat stick. And that is pretty much it. So I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and I will see you some other time. Bye bye.